All right, we're ready to record? Okay, here we go. A lot of definitions today, everybody. A lot of definitions. Some of which I'm sure you've heard about, some of which you have not. But remember what I've been telling you. These words, these vocabulary terms, we are not only going to use in Unit 1, but through the remainder of the year. So know them now, and you'll be set to talk geometry with me for the rest of the year. First term I have up here is a point. Please do me a favor. Do not memorize the definitions. Please don't do that. I am never going to ask you for a definition on a test or quiz. What I need you to do is, can you draw a picture of it, and can you write it mathematically? So the first one is a point. This one's not too much, not too fancy at all. Point, and then you usually see a capital letter next to it. Okay? And the way, if I saw this in my textbook or on a quiz or test, I would read this as point P. That's it. Not fancy. I'm sure we've all seen points before. Okay, well, what happens when I put a bunch of points together? I get what's called a line. And it's important when you draw the picture of a line, it has to have the two arrows on it. If you take the arrows off, it's called a segment, which we'll get to later on in the year. If you leave one arrow on, it's called a ray. That's something else we'll get to. You got to have both arrows on the line. All right? On the line, you're going to see points. Because the way you create a line is put a bunch of points together. So now, how do you write a line mathematically? Because you just don't want to write the word line every time. The symbol for line is a mini line. There you go, that's the symbol. Below that, you have to put at minimum 2 points on the line. All right, minimum 2 points. Yes, Gideon, did you just arrive?
Yeah, but my notes aren't showing up from yesterday for some reason on this.
I don't know what you mean.
Like, the notes that we did yesterday, they aren't showing up on, like, the Cami.
Are you opening up the same document?
Yeah, I'm on the same document.
Here's my question, because are you getting it from Google Classroom every day? Because that'll just give you a fresh one all the time.
It will?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to, like when you take your notes, up top there's a place for you to rename the file. Mm-hmm. And you got to rename, like if you keep going to Google Classroom and opening up the file I put on there, it's just going to be a brand new one every time.
Oh, okay.
So you have to save it into your Google Drive and then reopen that one in Cami every time.
Okay.
Okay? Good deal. All right. So again, how do I name a line? Minimum 2 points. So I could name this line if I wanted to, line AB. That's how I write a line. Is that the only way to name it? Absolutely not. I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. Give me a second way to name this line. Here we go, 18, Maeve. Can you give me a second way to name this line?
BC.
BC, I like it. And the order doesn't matter. I can name it CB, BA. I could also name it ABC. But remember, 2 points minimum. Minimum of 2 points. Second way you may see how to name a line. Your textbook does this a lot. You will see a lowercase letter by one of the arrows. It's not a point. It's just a lowercase letter next to one of the arrows. So you could also name it using that letter. So line out. Okay? So a couple different ways to name a line, but you have to have that symbol above. If you just put AB without the symbol above, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay? Any questions on the line? Point, line, and then finally, by the way, I love these page effects as I go from one slide to the other. That was called book. All right? Book. All right, I'll teach you them as we go along. There's one all-time favorite one. If you don't know about it, you'll see me freak out if it comes up. A plane now, a plane. First of all, can we read the definition of a plane here? Because just by definition, it's going to be impossible to draw. A flat surface that extends in all directions. How am I going to draw that? Are you kidding me? Something that extends in both directions. It's impossible to draw. So instead, we'll just live with a figure that looks like a parallelogram. Okay? Inside a plane, guys, you can have lines and points. So I'm going to put a line and a point in here, and a couple points. So let me just put a random line here. I'm going to put some points in there for you right now. Okay? You can have lines and points in a plane. All right, how do I name a plane? Remember, with a line, you have to have 2 points. For a plane, I'm sorry to tell you this, but there's no symbol for plane, so we do have to write out P-L-A-N-E. You name a plane with 3 points. 3 points. But, listen up, but they cannot form a line. The 3 points you pick to name the plane cannot form a line. Okay? So I'm going to ask somebody, can you give me 3 points on this plane that if I connected them would not form a line? Okay, here we go. $13, here we go. Sophia, what do you got for me? Plane.
C-A-B.
Fine, C-A-B. Got it. That's good. That's fine with me. Okay, A-D-B. Anything that, as long as it's 3 points that don't form a line. Second way you can name a plane. And again, your textbook loves to do this. Sometimes you will see a capital letter in one of the corners. That's not a point. So for instance, you may see this. I put a capital P in the corner. That's not a point. But if you wanted to, you could still name it plain P. Okay? So please make sure you know how to name a line versus naming a plane. Okay, everybody good? Anything here? Sophia, just do me a favor, mute your mic for me. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we understand what's going on. Let's test ourselves. First thing I just want to go through here is everyone just focus. You see this part right here? Why did they put a dashed line there? Here's why. When they put a dashed line, that means that line is going through the plane. Okay, so if I took my sheet of paper as the plane and I took my pencil and just jammed it right through and made a hole through it, that's what that means, that line is going through the plane. Versus, everyone see this one? That means that line is actually on the plane. Okay, so when you guys see a dashed line, that means the line is going through the plane. Okay, so just the heads up. All right, I'm going to turn this over to you. Can somebody tell me a line, name a line that contains point X? Name a line that contains point X. Name it correctly. There's multiple answers here. Let's name it correctly. Here we go. Number 8. Ryan, go ahead. Name a line that's got X on it.
XR.
XR, fine. Guys, again, got to have the line symbol. Don't forget about it. Because if you just put X and R, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you remember this course, the title of this course is Honors, right? So 1 is not good enough for me. I need another one. I need another one. 11. Anthony, name it another way.
Line XY.
Line XY, fine. And I'll just add in another one. You could also call it line M because it's got that lowercase m next to the arrow. Okay, so that's the third way there. Okay, next up, give me a line that contains point Z. Give me a line that's got point Z on it. Name it correctly. Here you go, 12. Lucas, go ahead.
Line RZ.
Yep, I like it. Give me another one. Let's keep it moving. Here you go, 27. Hannah, go ahead. Hannah, do you have another line that contains point Z for me?
Hold on. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Take your time. Line. I'm looking for a line that's got point Z on it. So name this line another way right there that's got point Z on it.
Is it the lowercase letter?
You can. So the lowercase letter on top, we could name this line L. Okay? The B is for the plane, which I'll get to in a second. Okay, everybody good? Okay, next up, number 3. Can you give me a plane that contains W and R? If you got to go back in your notes and look, remember how I name a plane. All right, specific number of points I need to name a plane. Here you go, 20. Sean, name that plane for me.
Plane RYW.
RYW. He gave me 3 points, which do not form a line. All right, one more. Here you go, 11. Anthony, back to you.
Plane B.
Yep, I was looking for that one. Good. Plane B, because you have this B in the corner that's not a point, so I can use it as naming the plane. Great job. Any questions? Points, lines, or planes? And then you guys will draw your own diagram now. Okay? Yep. Question?
Why is it allowed to be named B again?
Say that again.
Why can you name it B?
Because there's a capital letter in the corner that does not represent a point. And you'll see that. So if you saw your plane here and there's an M up here, you can call it plane M. Okay? That letter B does not represent a point. Okay? If it was, I would have this right next to it. I'd have one of these right next to it instead. Okay? Okay, ready to draw a diagram? Can you draw a diagram that satisfies those conditions? You're going to try it on your own. Right away, it says plane Z. All right, draw it. Draw plane Z. I'll start with the plane Z. And then go ahead, you're going to have 3 lines on plane Z. You're going to have X, line Y, and line W, so you should know how to label it. Where to put the X, Y, and W, and some of them have to intersect. So read through it carefully, draw your lines in the plane, and see what you can do. I'll give you guys about 2 minutes, and then I'll draw my version up here. Okay, Again, my version does not have to match yours, just as long as everything is correct and everything intersects at the correct point. So let me start with plane Z. Ready? Somewhere in the corner, you should have your capital Z. All right? Somewhere in the corner, capital Z. Okay, I have line X. So let me put a line in here. Let me make it a little smaller. Come on. There we go. And since it's line X, that means there's got to be a lowercase x near one of the arrows. Make sure your line has 2 arrows on it. And then I have line Y. It intersects point X at V. All right. So I need to make a second line, however you want, but it's got to intersect X. So I'm calling that Y, so I put a lowercase y next to that line, and it intersects at a point V. Done. Okay? So everyone's good so far. You have 2 lines, X and Y, that intersect at V. Last condition, you should have X and W intersecting at P. So I need a third line in here that intersects line X. Anywhere that intersects line X, I got to call that W, and it should intersect at point P. Okay? Does it have to match mine? No. But at least get the labels correct, please. Okay? Guys have any issues with that? Because I've got to go on to a couple other terms here to end the day. Going? Points, lines, planes. We feel pretty comfortable. All right, next couple terms. Cube. See that one? Cube. All right, collinear. First, don't draw the diagram yet, because I ask this every year. If you feel like it in the chat, do me a favor in the chat. The word collinear has what other word in it? The word collinear. What other word or words do you see in collinear? Most people, yep, they put linear. Perfect. I'm surprised. I was expecting, yep, there it is. Every year I get ear. Yep, every year I get ear. Absolutely true, St. John, and I just don't know what it'll do with the math. Okay? The name Colin, that's a new one. Yep. The one I'm looking for is the word line. It's got the word line, L-I-N-E in it. Okay, L-I-N-E. Because collinear means points that are all in the same line. Okay? Points that are all on the same line. So go ahead. I got 3 intersecting lines. You guys can copy those down. I'm going to put some points on those lines now. All right, I'll put some points on there. Okay, again, collinear, points on the same line. So here's what I'm going to ask somebody right now. Points blank, blank, and blank are collinear. And I need your help. Can you give me 3 points that you think are collinear? Okay, 3 points that are collinear. 8, here we go. Ryan, what's your thoughts here, Ryan? 3 points that are on the same line, collinear.
So B, E, and I?
Yep, perfect. Good job. B, E, and I are collinear. We're in honors class, so let's go one more set of points. Okay, give me 3 more points that you think are collinear. Here we go, number 12, Lucas.
TIK.
T-I, perfect. T-I-K, good job. Okay, so everyone have not collinear down. Points that are on the same line. If I have collinear, I have non-collinear, which are points not on the same line. So instead of drawing a new picture, just use same as above. And I'll ask the same question, but now give me points that are non-collinear. Three points that are non-collinear now. Whenever you're ready. Here you go, 21, whenever you're ready. Radhika, whenever you're ready.
I-E-K.
I-E-K, I love it. Just a quick, I'm not going to ask another set here. I like that she gave me I-E-K because some of you take a look. Everyone see how I and E are on the same line, but K is not. All 3 have to be on the same line to be collinear. All right, so just because 2 out of the 3 are, doesn't matter. As long as the third one's not, they're not collinear. Okay, any questions about collinear, non-collinear? All right, last vocabulary term for the day. Coplanar. Lines or points on the same plane. I'm gonna test your artistic ability here. I'm gonna draw a cube. Okay, we need a cube drawn here. This is about the only thing I do well as far as art goes. And we're gonna label all the points here. Okay, my first question before I get into any lines or points. How many planes are on my diagram? How many planes are showing on my diagram? Okay, planes. Remember, this is my cube. How many planes are showing on my diagram? I was going to call on somebody, but never mind. 6 planes, right? 6 planes. Okay. So here's my first question then. Points, blank, 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 are coplanar. And if you guys don't know what I mean by the 6 planes, the front and back, top and bottom, left and right ones. So I just want you to take one of those planes and give me points off one of them. All right, give me points off one of the planes here. Here we go, 19. Owen, you're up. 3 points you think are coplanar.
Points C, A, and B.
I like it. And if you don't know, he is referring to the top plane right here. C, A, and B are all on that plane. So they are coplanar. All right, let me change it up on you. Can you give me lines that are coplanar? Just 2 lines. 2 lines that are coplanar. So 2 lines on the same plane. Here you go, 2. Here you go, Quincy. What do you think? Give me two lines on the same plane.
Line DA and CB.
DA and CB. Yep, he used the same plane as before. Make sure you put the line symbol, everybody. Okay? So 6 planes, 2 lines on the same plane or coplanar, 2 points on the same plane or coplanar as well. All right? Questions before we have one more test before we get out of here, even though we got plenty of time. All right, here we go. Oh, book. 2 times in a class, the book. I'm going to have you up before we get to the questions. You guys have the definition of space on there. I don't care. Let's get rid. We're never going to talk about anything with space. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's get to the good stuff. Questions, the next 4 questions, which I know are labeled differently on yours, but it's fine. How many planes are in the figure? Name 3 points that are collinear. Are these 4 coplanar? Are these 3 coplanar? I'll give you guys a couple minutes to answer those at the best of your ability. Okay? I know you guys have questions 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. Go ahead and answer those 4 questions. Best of your ability right now. Give you guys another minute. Okay, here we go. How many planes are in this figure, guys? How many planes are in this figure? 12. Lucas, on fire today. How many planes you get, Lucas?
5.
Yep, 5 planes. Good job. Okay, number 2, name 3 of points that are collinear. 3 points. You got to go back and remember what collinear meant. Give me 3 points that are collinear. 25. Sabrina.
Points A, H, B are collinear.
Yep. If any of you had FJB, that is also correct. FJB. Okay, here we go. Are points A, H, J, D coplanar? Don't worry about the explain part. Just give me a yes or no here. 10. Atticus, what do you got? Atticus, AHJD, coplanar. Atticus, you in the house here? I see you on here. Going.
I think he just got kicked out.
Looks like he did as well. That's the way to go if you don't want to answer a question, huh? Okay. Oh, and sorry, I got to take over now. Are those 4 points coplanar?
No, they're not coplanar.
They're not correct. Take a look, guys. Take a look. Here's why, if you're wondering why. So I go A, H, J. So far, they're coplanar. All right, so far, those 3 points are on the same one. But once I add D into the mix, that doesn't form the same plane anymore. All right, so everyone see that? Okay, it's got to be all 4 lie on the same plane. And then finally, BDF. Number 12, Lucas. Finish it off.
Yes.
Yes, they are. And here's why, guys. Here's why. Ready? B, D, H, F forms this triangular plane in the back. Okay? Forms that triangular plane in the back. Okay? Questions at all you want to ask before I let you start the homework? We're not signing off. We got a couple more minutes left. Okay, so again, I'll remind. Yep, go ahead, Sophia.
So if the homework is just those pages, is it going to be posted in Google Classroom so we can do it on Cami?
For you, no, because you're coming to class on Monday, so you can show it to me on your computer on Cami. Does that make sense?
I'm a little confused on how would we do the home.
So you bring up your text.
Let me do that in the textbook.
You bring up your textbook on one screen. On the other screen, you got a blank Cami page.
Oh, you would have a blank page.
Right? You can get a blank page, copy it, right? Copy all your work down, and then show it to me in class like that on Monday.
Okay, I'll probably do on paper then.
Okay, yeah, whatever's easiest. Again, guys, half you guys L through Z. All right, half you guys L through Z, and anybody that's 100% remote, you'll get it through Google Classroom. You guys that'll be in class on Monday, you'll just show it to me on paper, on your Chromebook, however you're going to do the homework. Okay? There is no attachment in Google Classroom because just like I told Sophia, you got your textbook on one screen, on the other screen, you got whatever you're doing your homework on. Okay? So go ahead, get that started. If any questions come up, let me know. We still got about 3-4 minutes. So looking forward to seeing you guys. Oh, and next week, remember, we use our compass. So make sure you have a compass available for you next week. Middle of the week, next week, we start using the compass.